Moving on to the next tool, which is Surface by Network of Curves. I'm going to use this profile set here. And what we have is a series of line strings, in this case made with SmartLine. We have one set of rows in this direction, there, there, and there. And we have one set of rows in this direction. So there's one there, one there, one there, and one there, and so on. Note there are 4 in this direction and 6 in this direction. Now, this was drawn by first drawing a line string. And in this case, I simply copied this line string back and back and back, but in different locations. I then drew a line string between each of these vertices for this direction, and the same all the way through. So in other words, we have a mesh which will form the surface. So let's run the tool and see what happens. Note that there is only one option in the tool settings window, which is Keep Profiles. We'll leave that off for the moment. And we now need to start selecting. Now you'll find that we have to select these things very specifically. In fact, we must go in one direction first for all of the ones in that direction, and then that direction next for all of the lines in that direction. Now we can use the selection line to do this with. So just drag across there, and that selects the 4 running in that direction. You can also select them individually too. And now the prompt is saying select the V curves. Now the V's are going in this direction, the U's are going in that direction. Now I can use the line again, but just partially. So let's just try that. Drag the line as far as I can go without hitting another line. And now I can control data point on those 2 that I can't reach with the selection line. Now I've selected both sets of line strings, and I can data point in the view and data point again. So there's my surface. Very lumpy, of course, because the mesh that I used is all straight lines and vertices. In other words, I'm creating rectangles in 3 dimensions. Now a better option is to do this. Now here I've taken exactly the same mesh set, but now I've changed the line strings into Capmul-Rom curves. And I did that using my Create Curves toolbox and the B-Spline by points. Again, Capmul-Rom, pick the line string, just pick each of the original line strings to turn them into nice, gentle curves. Now we can use the tool again, and let's repeat the process. You can select all of those in the U direction. I'm going to select as many as I can in the V direction, and then data point, control data point, pick up those. And now we have a much smoother surface. So again, it's the underlying mesh which defines the smoothness or not of the surface. So quite easy to do, as long as you keep in mind that we have a U direction of the sections and a V direction of the sections. And they're at essentially right angles to each other, although they're not at any specific angle. Now, having drawn this surface, it would be nice if we could actually edit the surface in position. In other words, stretch the surface. And we can actually do that. And we use the Modify Element tool to do so when we can see the control points for the surface. Now, right now, if I go back to wireframe, and all I see, of course, is the ISO lines for the surface. And that's because if I look at tool settings, my curve polygons are invisible and my surface polygons are also invisible. That's why I only see ISO lines. So I need to turn the control points on in this drawing. Now the tool to use for that is this tool here, which is called Modify B-Spline Surfaces. And the one I want is the first one, which is Show Control Polygons. U's and V's are going to be fixed in this case. So all I need to do is select the surface, and lo and behold, my surface polygons and control points are available to me. Now I can go back and use the Modify Element tool, and I can drag the control points to new positions. So I can significantly change the shape of this surface if I want to. Okay, that will do. Let's shade that. Now I've moved the control points, you can see the different shape. So that's quite a useful feature. If the surface you generate doesn't quite work, then you can tweak it a little bit with that tool. Now, of course, I'm left with the polygon points displays, but I can get rid of that too. So back to this original tool, Pick the second one, which is hide control polygons. Select the surface, and there go the control polygons. So try this on any of the surfaces actually that you've generated so far.